Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Summer. So in this video I want to speak about the things that I love and the things that I hate about Nigeria. Because there are some things that I love, some things that I just do not like, right? And so I'm going to address some of them in this video, and I think it will give a lot of people ideas about Nigeria and what they are coming into and stuff like that. So let me start with on the positive. Food. Sorry. Food. You guys know I love food. The food. Let me tell you guys what happened. I returned to Nigeria before my children, right? And the day they were coming, I went and I got, I cooked for them, got the ingredients, everything. I made a pot of stew, boiled rice and all of that. And I went and got them from the airport and they came home, food was ready, And they ate. Like, they were so excited because they've not been in Nigeria for a long time. The last time they went to Nigeria, they were little kids. So they are grown now. So they were really excited. So they came and when they were eating this food that I made, and they were like, whoa, Mom, what did you put in this food? Wow, this is top tier. I was like, they were like, oh, whoa, what did you, like, Mom, is different. This. And they were like, wow. Like, and they said that is the best stew I have ever made. The best stew I've ever made. And I said to them, I made the stew exact same way I make stew abroad. The only difference is I made, like, tomato. I don't know if tomato, no cube, tomato, beef. I made beef for them. I made onions. The only difference is that these are Nigerian ingredients, and those were foreign ingredients we were using. There is a flavor, the flavor of, our food stuff. This is not, if some people say I'm bragging, Nigerian food, the flavors are there. For my children to say this is the best stew I've ever made, and I made my stew exact same way. The difference is that the tomato is Nigerian tomato. Everything, Nigerian onion, everything is from Nigeria. There is just something about the food. I already love food. And the thing is, I prefer to eat what somebody else made than to eat what I made. I think a lot of people are like that, and talking about the things I love, food. Secondly is, the way in America, UK, you go to supermarket. Let's say, for example, you go into Tesco and there's the deli at the back. Here they'll have burgers and fried chips and what's it called now? Or French fries. Some people call it French fries and all of those, Come to Nigerian supermarket and go to the deli. You're finding puff puff. Puff, meat pie. Like, my children were blown away, like, whoa, like, can you imagine having all this? Because abroad, to make meat pie is a special occasion. It's so available. You understand? The food. What about restaurant left, right, and center? That was how I blew up. But I started losing the weight. A lot of you may have noticed it. I started losing the weight, So let me not make this too long. The food. It's one of the things that I love. So in case you don't know, I have set up a shortlet in Nigeria, and trust me, it's not because it's me, but it's because it's the truth. My shortlet is one of the best that I have seen in Nigeria. Okay, nice neighborhood. By the way, it's not far from the airport. Nice neighborhood, quiet neighborhood. Everything is spotless, clean environment. Let me tell you guys, this idea came from my experience of staying in shortlets. I was so frustrated with the standard that I was meeting. So the standard I experienced of shortlets showed me what was lacking. By my standard, my shortlet is going to be one of the best shortlets you've ever stayed in. Well-maintained, clean environment. Everything brand new. Yes, so if you're planning to visit, to go explore and experience Nigeria for yourself, to know whether Jakarta is for you, consider staying in my shortlet. And then let me talk about, I'm going to say what I love and what I don't love. I'm going to be mixing them up. Let me say one of the things that I do not really like. The tipping style in Nigeria is, I find it hard. I find it really hard because you see, the tipping sometimes is almost like bribery, you know. So sometimes I try to make sure that I'm not bribing someone, that I'm just tipping. When I say tip is like a free gift. You're giving a gift. It's not like, you understand, but it's almost like there's a very thin line between bribing and, you know, gifting or tipping. But like, sometimes it's in your face. The way some people ask for it is almost like in your face. I find it very frustrating sometimes, and at the same time I struggle with not knowing how much am I supposed to dash. Nigeria discipline will say dash, right? Don't forget America has a tipping culture as well, so let's not forget it's not, but just the Nigerian one is a bit different. So what's it called, sometimes you're struggling with how much am I supposed to dash here, you understand? And then let me tell you what one of the things that I don't like about it. I'm always afraid of, maybe I don't dash enough, or maybe I dash too much. That anxiety of not knowing, should it be this amount, or you know what I mean? I don't like to have to, okay, should I dash now or should I not dash? Am I supposed to dash? Am I not supposed to dash? It's too much. And people don't know, I'm a very sensitive person. I worry like about things like that can get me really anxious and worried. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want to do wrong. Okay. But something else I realized, that I'm saying there's a thin line between bribery and gifting or tipping. I experimented it where, let's say, for example, you're going to the bank, you know, and somebody was like, oh yeah, like they may see people there and they come to you directly and say, oh yes, how can I help you? And they ignore other people, maybe because you look a bit fresher than others or whatever. They just pick you, like, oh, how can I help? And they'll be like, I need to do that. And they may skip the queue and let you do your stuff first. And then you're skipping the queue. And if you come from a society where you're used to a queue, not queue, you have to obey it. Sometimes you feel bad because you're like, okay. But if you don't accept it, it's just sad the way it is, that you may end up being there forever. I experimented it whereby, for example, I decided that there was a bank. I said, I'm not going to do any gifting or dashing or whatever you want to call it. You know, whatever you want to call it, right? Tipping. And I noticed a difference between that bank where I never gifted anybody anything and other banks. Because that one where I never gift, I saw how you don't get that. I don't care whether you call me madam or you call me, it doesn't add anything to me. But it's a Nigerian culture. But because it's a society where when people respect you by calling madam, ma, you know, that kind of a thing. So when they don't, because that's what the society is like, you kind of know, it's like they decided not to respect you. But because on a normal day in a Western society, nobody is minding you or signing you as a mass. No. So it's not something you're looking for. But when you now come to society where it means this, you understand, not being called ma is disrespectful, well, is disrespectful, then you now kind of like, you know when, okay, somebody is trying to disrespect you, but you know, they bother me. It doesn't bother me, to be honest with you. But I noticed how that particular bank where I never did any gifting or any tipping or whatever, I can go to the other bank, I'll be out of there in like, but the other one, every time I go there, I smile. There was even one day I got angry because they were skipping the queue. I'd been there I just went, I sat down there waiting for my turn. And the queue, they kept on skipping. And I walked up to them, I said, sorry, I came before all these people. I came before this person, that person. I said, they shouldn't be skipping the queue. You understand? I had to like speak up for myself. But I saw the difference. Then it's no longer about just tipping. It becomes like bribing. You know? So that culture, that one, I find it a bit hard. And at the same time, sometimes when you dash small here, dash small there, after a while you say, is this how I'm going to stay? Is this how I'm going to survive this country? If I keep giving. You see, this I think is our mentality of from living abroad for a long time. You begin to say, okay, if this is Japada, like, okay, is this how this Japada life is going to work? Like, if I keep doing this, does it not add up in a month? Does it not add up in a year? Does it not add up? But anyways, unfortunately, Nigeria is a country where there's so much poverty that when you do this dashing, I think I like the word dashing as in case you're not Nigerian, when we say dash, it's like gift. It's because it makes you feel good inside. It doesn't have to be a lot. That's another thing you have to realize. It can be, let's say, 500 naira. maybe 1,000 sometimes. You understand? It's small, small. So let's say, for example, a gate man, one elderly man is the gate man. Somebody dashing 500 naira, another person dash 200. At the end of the day, is helping his salary to come up at the end of this. So those are the things that if you put at the back of your mind, it makes it easier for you to want to do it, because you know, you feel like you're doing good. You understand? That is the aspect of it. So it doesn't have to be a lot. It can be 100 naira. It can be any amount. It can be 5,000, 10,000. It can be 100 naira, 200 naira. So it doesn't. But it's just like sometimes when you almost feel like you're being forced, that's when it gets uncomfortable. Or when you feel like, okay, you treat me right only because I gave you a dash, only because I dash you. You understand? That's when it gets, you know, all of that. Okay, that's that. Now to something I hate. Another thing that I hate is the lack of respect for women. The lack of respect for women that I have seen. Especially if you're one of the type that carry yourself jejeje, you're not doing buga, you're not doing dengue pose, you arrive anywhere with simple, you arrive anywhere simply and especially if you're one of those. You understand? But even whether you come as madam, there is this thing, and now I know why. Or now it makes more sense to me why a lot of women in Nigeria will do anything to keep a marriage. Because their husband is their respect they get. That way, like I sat down, I said that, oh, no wonder that they can be in a very painful marriage, abusive marriage where they are neglected, marriage where there's basically the marriage or love is non-existent, and they stay there because of the society without a man. I will go into a shop, or I go somewhere into an establishment. You find that the respect that they give a woman is so different. Do you know that I've walked into places and my own child, my son, I have grown children, my son gets more respect than me carrying for Belen and me born him. He gets more respect than I get, simply because he's male and I'm female. I started saying this thing to family and friends. I was like, I've noticed this thing that I don't feel respected. This is me, for example. Another example, I have a project, right? Setting up this my shortlet. I know how much money I was spending. I know how much I was investing in it, because Nigeria is tough. If you don't have investment, you will not survive. Yeah, and you know, when I say investment, so that, you know, okay, let me not go too deep into that. But while I'm doing all of that, I'm going somewhere to buy, let's say, ACs. I'm buying this, and you walk into this establishment or shop, whatever. The workers there, they see you, and then a male that walked into the place with you, immediately, welcome, sir. Yeah, what can we do for you, sir? Oh, yeah, sir. Oh, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I kept on expressing. I was like, I've noticed this thing a lot. I have workers that were working for me, working for me, doing stuff, and they would rather I would give it, and you know, and you're saying to them, okay, I want this here, I want that there, and and they are looking at the male friend or family member that you have with you, because in their head, I don't even know whether in their head they look at it, it must be the man that is running this project, it must be the man that owns this project, and then they just like, there was one that really pissed me off. I said, I don't want a curtain here, I want a curtain there, I don't want this, I want that, and this person turned around and was looking at the male that was there and asking, and I was like, excuse me, I just explained to you what I want. So it's almost like he's just there. In a lot of, not all, but a lot of them have no regard for women. A lot of them. I remember walking into a shop to buy things that I needed for the property, and that I needed for my shortlet. I walked in first, the lady, okay, and then somebody walked in after me. This person is male that came with me. Because Nigeria, you know, so people that not everywhere you know, you need somebody to always help you. Where is this? To drive you, maybe to show you where things are, or you know, to somebody to help you. Because Nigeria, you know what I mean, to know. This person walked in and, good afternoon, sir. And this person actually said to the lady, did you greet the person that walked in first. Me, that I came in after her, you're greeting me, you're respecting me. Do you know if I'm her driver? How do I get more respect than her? I just said, drop it. What can I say? I just told the person, I said, just leave it. Because I had gotten used, it was like I had experienced it so much. You know, that is one of the things that I hate. And then it creates a situation whereby a lot of women, they end up being like, I want to do this thing. Let me bring my uncle along. Let me bring my cousin, male cousin along. Let me bring my father. Let me bring my son. Let me bring my brother in 2024. Unfortunately, I noticed a lot of that. Now I know, or I think I know why Nigerian women are doing whatever they can to hold on to relationships that are dead. Hold on to men, fighting over men, and doing all these things because of the way society is. Unfortunately, misogyny is alive and well in Nigeria. Sometimes when somebody even wants to speak to you anyhow, if there's a man with you, they hold their tongue. But there's no man with you, they feel like, sometimes I notice that a lot. Okay, now let me go to something else that I love about Nigeria. The weather. You wake up in the morning, you know, abroad, sometimes you wake up in the morning and say, hey, is it cold? Is it not cold? You go outside and feel it's more, it's cold, I need a coat. Or, Nigeria, you don't need to check the weather to decide what you wear for the day. Like what I'm wearing right now. You can wear it anytime, every time if you want. The weather is so beautiful. And believe it or not, it has effect on your mental health. It has effect on how you wake up bright and, how do I even say it, every morning. I don't know how to express it. You understand? Not having to wear a winter coat, not having to wear layers and layers of, clothing. It's priceless. Go and research the effect of the sun. So another thing that I love is the weather, the sun. I love the sun. Something else that I hate, we all know this one, the electricity problem. It goes off, it comes on. After living abroad for a long time where there's electricity 24/7, it can be hard to adapt to this, right? And having to use the generator. Great thing is that there are a lot of generators these days that are silent. Like silent as in, it's almost like, it's not annoying sound, but there's a sound in the background, even though it's calm sound. You know what I mean? There's still a difference when it finally goes off. So the electricity problem is one of the things that, when you see businesses and other things, you see how the lack of electricity is affecting the economy. But I don't know. I believe, like some people say, there are people that would never want the electricity problem to be solved because they are making money by selling gen and all of these things. So I really wish that this electricity thing can be a thing of the past where, what is a gen? We don't need a gen. Just pay your bills and have your constant electricity. So definitely that's something else that nobody's ever going to like it. I don't like it. You know what I mean? So that's that. Something else that I love. As a Nigerian, I would say the fact that it's a country where it's home. Like, you don't feel, that feeling of, I am a foreigner in this country. No matter how many years you don't stay in the country. You know that feeling, okay, I'm an immigrant and all that. To be in a country where you're not an immigrant, you're not a foreigner, you are from here. This is the land of your ancestors. There's that ownership thing about it. I'm not going to lie. There's that ownership thing about it. You don't feel like anybody's, I don't even know half the words. You understand? It's just such a beautiful feeling of saying, this is Ilumi Bodom Deha, Ilumi. This is my land. This is my home. I can't put it to words. I seriously can't put it to words. So that is something else that I really, really love. Just everything just feels good. You just feel so, you feel like you're a tree and this is the ground you grew out of, if that makes sense. It's one of those beautiful things that I absolutely love, about Nigeria. As always, I don't like my videos to be too long. I'm going to end this one here. you leave comments, tell me the things you love and hate about Nigeria. And I'm going to come in part 2 to tell you guys more about the things that I'm loving and the things that I hate about Nigeria. I'm looking forward to reading your comments. But with that, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Until the next time, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.